All right, guys. So for those of you who just watched the video before this one, you know that I got a new deck that is called the Stolen Child Tarot. And I got this deck because the woman Monica L. Knighton is on Etsy, and I saw this amazing deck. I had never seen it before, and I wanted to help promote it, and I wanted to spend time with it. I wanted to review it. And so she gave it to me for free, and I agreed to do a free review. So today we're going to do a pick a card with it. Since we've already seen how the deck looks, now we're going to see how it performs. So pick your card. Pick 1, 2, or 3. Which one is really calling to you? And then I'm going to tell you the general interpretation. Now, if we were doing a private reading, of course, it would be very specific to your situation. But since I'm talking to at least, let's say modestly 50 or 60 people, maybe less, maybe more, I feel like when I do these, they're more general. So you're going to know how it fits into whatever is going on with you. And I'm just going to tell you the general interpretation. Okay. So the first one here by the Amethyst here, the Amethyst cluster, is number 1. So as you can see, number 1 is upside down. Number 1 is upside down because this is what we call the reverse. So this card is reversed, and the card is the Knight. Now, this is the Knight of Cups in the traditional tarot. So when the Knight of Cups comes up reversed, what it's saying to you, and I love him how he's half fish, isn't that cool? But what it's saying to you is that something's going on with your emotions. Because whenever the cups, the Knight of Cups, the Page of Cups, the Queen of Cups, the King of Cups, whenever they're reversed, usually there's something going on with your emotions. Either your emotions are drowning you, literally, or you are detached from them. Either way, some type of emotion is coming up that's not being dealt with in a healthy manner. Because when the Knight is in the upright, the Knight is dealing with things in a healthy manner. And oftentimes this emotional whatever that's going on, and it can be a man, it could be a woman, the Knight can be, masculine or feminine. Any of the cards can be a man or a woman, even if it says king or queen. Because according to spirituality and science and everything else, we all have masculine and feminine energy in us. And one of them is just more dominant based on our hormones and personality and all those kind of things. So for most of us, some people are more balanced in even that way. But a lot of us are like that. There's that duality, we call it. So it doesn't matter what the gender is. Anyway, so for the Knight of Cups reversed, there's some type of emotional issue. Oftentimes the emotional issue is family or romantic. Those are the two that the Knight deals with the most, even though it doesn't have to be. Sometimes the Knight also struggles with his or her sexuality, either dealing with it, addressing it, or, hiding it even. So any of these things could be going on with this particular card. Likewise, when the Knight is reversed, the Knight can be non-committal in relationships. The Knight can be running around messing with different people, lying. Even the Knight can be very deceptive when he's reversed. So this is the kind of energy that this could be you and something you're dealing with, you're struggling with, or it could be a person in your life also, an important person like a spouse or a family member, somebody that's going through something like this. So if you got this card, think, is this you or is this somebody around you? Because this person is dealing with some real heavy stuff. Sometimes this could lead to depression, all kinds of disassociation and mental health issues. Or it could just be a situation like somebody passed over and they're just dealing with it or not dealing with it. So you really should ask yourself who this is, because this person is struggling. Whenever I get this card, and I get this card a lot, I usually get it in the upright though, but whenever I get it reversed, because this is one of my birth cards, when you're born you have certain cards that come up for you, and this is one of mine. And when it's reversed, I'm going through something. I'm grieving, I'm sorrowing, something major is going on. My relationship done broke up or something has happened. So if you know who this is, reach out. If it's you, ask for support. Okay? You need your support system. Somebody, whoever this is, needs their support system. Okay? Beautiful, beautiful card. I love the whimsical look of that card. All right, number 2. So if you pick number 2, you got the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords in general is not a bad card. Let me tell you what it's about. The Four of Swords is about a temporary retreat. Either you need to take a temporary retreat, or somebody else is taking a temporary retreat from you. This could be like a vacation, you know? It could be you seeing somebody and, you know, needing some space. It could be a number of things. It could be a mother who, you know, is overwhelmed with her children or her job, or a husband and a father who's overwhelmed with things going on in his life, and they need to escape. It doesn't have to be forever. It could be just a nap. This person needs some escape. They need some napping, some vacationing, something like that. Usually we call this the temporary retreat. So it's not a long retreat. It's not like you have to leave, you know, the country or go off into a rocket ship, but you do need a little bit of time for yourself. And you may find that maybe you lately haven't been able to get time for yourself. And this card is reminding you that this is something that's important that you should do. So if you pick number 2, ask yourself, do you need to rest? Do you need to retreat? Do you need to, you know, get yourself together? Or is there somebody around you that could need support in that area? For example, maybe your wife is overwhelmed and you can take the kids tonight, or you can make dinner or wash the dishes. Maybe you can give that person a little bit of support. Like I said, it's a temporary retreat and it's a minor arcana, so they don't need anything major, but they do need it. You know, just because it's not major doesn't mean it's not important. So again, see if this is you or if it's somebody close to you, and if you can support them or if you can ask for support. Maybe you're the one that needs to. Sometimes people who are the most overworked have the hardest time asking for support, and a lot of times that's where the problem comes in, because there are people willing to support you, but they don't know that you need the support, or they don't want to ask you and offend you. You know, we need to be able to ask for what we need. Number 3. So if you picked card number 3, let me flip this around. Oh, look at his little face, little mischievous face. Oh, he reminds me of that old show, Dennis the Menace. It was an old show when I was a girl back in the 80s, early 80s, late 70s. There was a show called Dennis the Menace, and his face reminds me of Dennis. Not so much the way he looks, because Dennis had blonde, short hair, but just the mischievous look on his face was something that Dennis the Menace would do. So if you got this card and you have a mischievous side to you, that would be indicated in that facial expression. But also the Page of Flame. So the Page of Flame is the Page of Wands in traditional tarot. So the Page of Wands is not a bad card at all. It's a very it's actually a fun card. It is a very fun card. Sometimes the page can indicate messages or news coming towards you. Usually good news, like somebody's having a baby or somebody's getting married. Sometimes it's just something simple like that. Other times the page indicates forward movement. So it could indicate that you're moving forward on some type of a project, you know, cleaning up your room, writing a book, getting a new job, something like that. So the page can indicate moving on, some type of movement forward. And that's a good thing too. Remember that pages are often youthful energy, so they're often very enthusiastic. Sometimes they're actors or entertainers in some kind of way too. A page can be like a singer or a fan or a devotee of a particular individual, or just, out there, having a good time. The page is often like on dirt bikes and dancing. Passion, flames and fire and wands is passionate energy. So we get a lot of motivation from and like happiness, especially since it's in the upright. So if this could be you, it could be somebody you're with. It even could be your child, because sometimes the page is a child, or they're just childlike in their mentality. And in this case, it's a good thing because it's not so much a naivety or like a negative, but childlike as far as a happiness, a wonder. Some children, especially the ones that grow up with love, they have this wonder to them. Like everything is amazing. They're like, hey, look at this. Hey, look at me. Hey, I found my thumb. Like they're like everyday magic. Every little teeny things that you and I take for granted, they discover, hey, I found my foot. But think about a little baby that finds their feet. They're fascinated with their feet for like 6 months, or when a baby first sees their reflection in the mirror. They're like, some babies think it's another baby. Some babies are on it immediately. And some babies are like, who is that? But there's a wonder, there's an awe to it. And the Page of Wands has that kind of energy. So I love that aspect of it. And it's also for people who have lost that energy, telling you to retrieve it. So if you got this card and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, I wish I was like that. Yeah, so does the card. The card wants you to be like that too. And that's why you pulled it. So depending upon what your situation is, it can be any one of these things. So, but it's in generally a positive card. So even if you're having a rough time, you can maybe expect a little bit of good news, or a silver lining in your cloud, or moving forward with something that you thought you might not move forward with, or something along those lines. So that's card number 3. So if you like this beautiful deck, there's going to be a link right underneath this video where you can get this. This is the name, the Stolen Child Tarot. And it's really beautiful. I did a full flip through. And let me show you the back in case anybody's interested. You can pause right here and you can read what it says on the back. Beautiful deck. Highly recommend it. And it's a very unusual deck. Let me tell you that. It feels like, to me, a different world. Like some of the creatures look human, like this little boy here. But to me, like if you look at this particular knight we were talking about earlier, he's half dolphin or something. It makes me think of like some type of other planet, like Sirius A or something. And there's some kind of creatures in the background here too. So yeah, it reminds me of, I don't know, like another place, like another place like Narnia, or something like that. Something that's not, bound to, the laws of Earth, basically. So I don't know where this is or where the artist was going with it, but I love it. And it has an extremely whimsical, fun nature to it. And when you do cards as often as I do, and you have some really heavy conversations, some really sad conversations, to be using a deck like this does often make me feel better. All right, guys, it's time for me to go. So you come back soon because I have a lot more to say. See you later.